everyone, welcome to the 30-day photo challenge April 2021 edition. My name is Elsie Kibue, and I'm a Kenyan photographer based in the UK. For the month of April, I'll be sharing with you photo stories from BIPOC Women Photographers. And we have one with us today. Hello, would you like to introduce yourself?
Hello, my name is Ameena Rojee. I'm a London-based photographer and I do portraiture and documentary, and I focus on kind of stories about community, adventure, the outdoors and women in these spaces.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for joining us today. So, Ameena, would you like to talk us through your photo today?
Yeah, sure. So this photo is sort of, there's not a huge backstory behind it. It's very much kind of moment captured out of the blue. So this was March 2020. It was, I think, maybe 2 or 3 weeks into the first lockdown. So everyone was still kind of, what's going on? And I hadn't really picked up my camera at all. I hadn't like photographed anything, even just sort of around the house or outside. I hadn't thought about it. And then one day, it was a really nice day. It was very blue, very sunny. It was like a perfect, beautiful blue sky day. And I was upstairs working, and suddenly I heard my mum from downstairs shouting, "Quick, come downstairs. Something's happened." I was like, oh my gosh, what's happened now? And then I went downstairs and she had a magpie in her hands, and I was like, what? What are you doing? What happened? And so what happened was, because it was so nice and warm outside, we had our patio door open, and somehow this bird had just flown into our house. We're not sure why. We don't know what it was trying to steal, because magpies like steal shiny things, don't they?
Mm-hmm.
Was that a quote? I'm not sure. But somehow it got caught inside a house, and my mum had to basically rescue it, because we also have 3 cats. And we had to rescue it pretty quickly. But yeah, so she picked it up, she managed to catch it, and then she went out into the garden, and I ran to go get my camera during this time. And this is the moment that she let go of the bird, and it was just kind of flown off into freedom again. And that was like, it was pretty much kind of the first kind of photograph I took during the first lockdown, or after like the pandemic had started happening. I think this is probably the first time I really picked up my camera properly, and this kind of helped me also get back into actually photographing again, and photographing in the garden, just around all these spaces which are kind of usually so familiar, but seem to kind of take on new meaning in the last year. And I always kind of think about this image as a sort of really appropriate metaphor, but it's because it's kind of like we've been trapped, and soon we're going to hopefully be free again. But yeah, so that's pretty much what this whole image is kind of about, and how it happened.
Right. And did you shoot this like on a digital camera or a film camera, or how did you photograph this?
Yeah, so this was photographed on a digital camera, because I love film, I love to use film, but I would have never been fast enough to catch it on film. I've just got an empty space, maybe a bit of a foot.
Yeah.
But yes, this was shot on digital, and this is an alternative image that I actually didn't release for a long time. The original one I had was a color version, but it was also the bird still being held, so it was very in focus and very sharp. And I think I binned this one at first because it's out of focus. And then I don't know if it was like, it must have been like maybe a month later, I was like looking through everything again. I was like, actually, it's quite a nice picture. And then this has become a really popular picture now, and I put it in my print shop, just thinking maybe a couple of people like it. It's the most popular one that everyone knows, which is really, really nice. It's a nice feeling. I think everyone connects with it kind of on an emotional level as well.
And did you find like sometimes photographs don't need to be in focus to put the message across, right? Like
yeah,
you said.
Definitely. Yeah, it's something that I've only kind of not really realised, but kind of actually accepted, maybe in the last kind of couple of years, especially like with this particular picture as well, because I am selling it. When I first put it up, I was like, oh, maybe no one will buy it because it's blurry, and especially if I print it big, it's going to be bad quality. It's not. It's still good quality, even if it's not in focus. And sometimes that's what actually tells the story, like, because you get a bit more movement, and
yeah,
it's not all about being in focus.
It reminds me, like, you know, when you print something big and you're so close to it, it's blurry anyway. It's the because your eyes, even when you blow up a photograph on screen, you see the pixels. So, but the moment you zoom out, even though it's still not in focus, you can still see the full picture of the image anyway.
Exactly. And that's a really good point, actually. Actually, that makes me think it's probably partly to do with the fact that I never really printed any of my work. So I'm used to kind of seeing things on screen, and that's how I kind of learned photography, was always on a screen. I never really printed anything, even at university. So actually I got used to having to make everything look really, really sharp and really like in focus, and I don't do that anymore.
Okay, you said you don't print anything, but looking behind you, young lady.
I used to previously. It took me many years to like get to actually printing my own work, which is even worse when you think that I used to work at a print lab.
Oh my gosh, I think it's one of those things, like, because you're there, you're like, I'm here anyway, so it doesn't matter.
And then it's too late and I've left.
You tend not to use the resources you have until it's too late. Always. Even like you said, you studied in uni, right? And I studied in uni as well, and it was always the case. Like, I tried my level best to use the resources, but time was always against me. I had lectures, I had essays to write, I had projects to work on.
Yeah, exactly.
By the time you get to use the resources, you only have a limited time to use it, and it's such a shame.
It is, and then sometimes it's not even years later until you realize, like, oh, I should have really like made time to do that. I should have used all those free print credits I had.
So with your photograph of the Mum and Magpie, you named it Mum and Magpie too, because you had a previous version, right?
That's right,
the color version. Like, so you said it's in your print shop. Have you tested it on different papers to see how it would look like, and then you have a paper preference when you're printing the image?
Yeah, sort of. I haven't tested it just because I kind of already know what my favorite paper is.
Which is
so it's this paper called the Hahnemühle Pearl. I can never say it properly. But it's just a really nice paper. But that's also partly because I haven't really gone out and tested loads of different types of paper. So I'm not very technical when it comes to things. When the whole of across the whole of photography, I'm not a very technical person. And when it comes to print, like if I find something like, I'll just go with it. And I haven't really tested lots of different things yet. But so that's the paper I've kind of gone with for this one, and everything else in the print shop. But I've been doing a lot of research recently. Like, it's taking time to get there, but I think in the next kind of year or so, I'll be working a bit more on my print shop will be looking a bit more professional and varied.
I need to launch mine. I need to launch my print shop, because I've been working on it, and I'm wondering, what do I put on there? As in, it's not an easy thing to do, is it?
No, my God, there's so many decisions to make. And actually what I found was I just had to launch it even though it wasn't ready. So I've actually, now since I launched it in May or June time, it wasn't ready when it launched, but I was like, I need to just get it out, otherwise I'll be working on it forever. And then it's gone through like several iterations now since then, and now it's like listened to a couple of talks recently and been through a lot of advice, and now there's some really good ideas that I have that I think will take it to the next level as well.
Amazing.
So, sometimes it's about just putting it out.
So true. I should stop dilly-dallying and just get it out there, even if it's one print. At least it's up.
I've got to stop dilly-dallying.
I don't even know where that came from, but
well, all these prints you see behind me, that was me being like, I've got to stop dilly-dallying.
I like the way you've mounted them on the wall. So how did you do that? Because I'm curious. Is that like magnetic paint and then you use magnets? Oh.
Yeah. So I had a friend recommend the paint, another photographer, who got it from another photographer. But yeah, so we found this magnetic paint online, which was about 30 quid for the paint. It's not cheap, but it's like once you've done it, it's fine.
Mm-hmm.
So I painted, it's about 4 coats it's needed, but it took like a day to paint. So it was really quick, dried really quickly. And then I bought magnets, these little magnets. And yeah, it's just so useful because I could just, I don't have to do any blue tack, no tape. My paint's not like chipping off anymore, even though I've just painted the room.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's been really nice to have an editing wall, and now I feel like a real professional.
And you see, and this is why I love having conversations like this, and this is why I think I started this project, because I'm getting ideas from you.
Yeah, exactly.
Through this, like I don't even know. I'm finding myself to be speechless sometimes when I'm having these conversations.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I know what you mean. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And yeah. So carry on.
No. I was just gonna say, like, that's a really brilliant idea, and I'm gonna look into it because my space is just the artwork behind me, which is propped on the radiator. But I need to sort it out and make it like my space to do with photography. I don't have anything on the walls at the moment.
Yeah.
But
oh my gosh, yeah. Well, so I made this office when I went freelance in 2019, but it's kind of taken me all this time to actually get like prints up on the wall. And I have prints on the wall I face, but none of them are photography. They're all illustration and printmaking and stuff. I've got postcards, and then that's pretty much it. So it's all just random stuff.
But that's how ideas come up, right? When you put things on the wall and you're like, oh, that's an idea. That's an idea for a project. But that's how it works anyway in any artist studio, right?
It's true, yeah.
Thank you so much for sharing your photo with us, Ameena. I really enjoyed looking at it, and I enjoyed your story behind it. And I hope that magpie, wherever it is, it's fine.
Hopefully, yeah, it's not flying into any more houses.
Yeah.
Whatever.
True. Right. So the next section is a quick fire round. So I thought it would be a fun way of asking you photography related questions. So are you ready?
Yes.
Just pick the first one that comes to mind, right?
Okay. All
okay. Right. Fixed lens or telephoto?
Fixed lens.
Lightroom or Photoshop?
Lightroom.
That's fine. Color or black and white?
What? At the moment, black and white.
Okay. DSLR or mirrorless?
Mirrorless.
Film or digital?
Both.
That's cool. Even though it's not an option, it's still fine.
Yeah. Okay. Good.
That's it. Those are the 5 questions. Yeah, it wasn't bad.
No, it wasn't bad. So yeah, I know. I'm a very much. And people ask me questions like this. I'm like, both, all of it, always. I never usually like one or the other. I'm very much like I'm always in the middle.
Yeah, always in the middle. It's fine. It's fine. Anyway, thank you so much, Ameena, for sharing your amazing work with us again. So please be sure to follow her. I'll leave all the details in the description bar below. So until next time, goodbye.
Bye.